Hey guys, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a deck profile on my Infernoid, my lawn mowing Infernoid. Sorry, let me close this little thing here. Um, so basically, what this deck is it's based off of Infernoid, but it also runs the new card, uh, lawn mowing next door, or as TCG calls it, that grass looks greener. And it sounds like somebody was high when they were making it. Hey man, that grass looks pretty damn green. And yeah, so let's start off with saying that this is a lot more budget than lots of people's other builds. Like, the extra deck won't kill you that badly. I run a lot of budget cards in the extra deck. I do have some cards here that I'm going to be talking about, but for the most part, I do have quite a bit of cards that are pretty budget and pretty easy to pick up. Um, for the main deck, I think the most costly cards are going to probably be Brilliant Fusion, Lamoy Next Door, and Deviatis. For some reason, Anunku's Secret Rare are not too much. I believe they're about 5, and same goes for Decatron. So those won't kill you. They will hinder you, but they won't hurt too bad. And, well, let's just start off with the actual Gem Knight. I only run one Gem Knight. I'm going against my rule, and I hate having to do that, but I'm running only one Gem Knight. And if you guys don't know my rule about the Brilliant Fusion Engine, you run two Gem Knights. But I have to run one because I want to run as many of these cards as I wanted. So yeah. Then we go into the Infernoid lineup. We have two Anunku, we have two Deviai, two Attendel, two Seismus, one Jet, one Piety, two Patrella, three Harmdic, three Antra, three Dectron, and one Pure Midas. And before you guys witch hunt me here, the reason I only run two Attendel is because I needed more space, and I thought I can run it with only two Attendel, and so far it's been doing pretty well. Same goes for Seismus. Seismus is a key card in most times because he is a non-targeting banishment. That is one of the best ways to get rid of a card in the game right now, is non-targeting banishment. It's a good way to get rid of Kieran if you've already baited it out and stuff, so yeah. So Jet, Piety, and Pure Midas are kind of one else for father for Kira, which I'll get into later. And since I'm running the Lightsworn and Lightsworn stuff, I'm going to talk about the Lightsworn stuff now. So for the lineup for Lightsworn, we run two Wolf, three Raiden, two Lila, three Lumina, and that's and two Charge. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Uh, and also for the extra deck, we run one Michael. So for the Lightsworn lineup, I really like running the Lightsworns with it. It's a quick way to get your Infernoids engraved and just get your key cards even quicker. And there's also the Lumina engine, for what I call it, where if you have a Lumina engraved, you can normal Lumina, or if you already have it on field or something, you can discard cards, special that Lumina. That Lumina's effect, then you can special another thing and just go from there, you know, for some crazy synchro plays or for some random Levier plays. So yeah, for the Spell and Trap lineup, we have two Galaxy Cyclone, which I love as a card in Infernoid because it's a quick way to get rid of Imperial Iron Wall. We have three That Grass Looks Greener, one Monster Gate, one Reasoning, and I've already said two Charge of Light Brigade, three Void Seer, three Brilliant Fusion, three Void Imagination, two Frozen Void, and three Void Madness. Or Void Feast, I should say. I think I said Void Vanishment. I hope I did, and I didn't say Frozen Void. It's Void Management. Um, the reason I run it like this is because Void Tier is very important in most cases. It's a good way to protect a Deviati, a Nunku, or a Tier in some cases from destruction, because these guys have quite high attack, and if you can make them unaffected, then your opponent's going to have quite a bit of time trying to get past them. Even in case they don't have a lightning, then it's kind of a little too hard for them to gag past in some cases. The reason I run the Brilliant Fusion Engine is because it's a simple way to get a wolf or a Rainbow Karibo engrave or a Fairy Tale engrave. I think I talked about Fairy Tale and Rainbow. I hope I did. Reason I run Rainbow Karibo is because Feliz at $7, screw that. Yeah, I'd rather run Fleas, but yeah. Rainbow Kariba has saved me many times in the past, so I hope it will save me now. 3 Void Imagination because Tier is pretty strong, and just getting the 8 effect is pretty strong, or, well, the 3 effect by itself is pretty good as well. If we had Natis, it'd be even stronger. Sorry. For the extra deck, we have 2 Tierra, 1 Gemini Seraphonite, 1 Star Eater, 1 Leo the Keeper of the Sacred Tree, 1 Enlightenment Paladin, 1 Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Michael the Arch Lightsworn, 1 High Speed Droid Kendama, 1 number 23 Lancelot Dark Knight of the Underworld, 1 Gaga Cowboy, 1 Castel the Sky Blaster Musketeer, 1 Levier the Sea Dragon, and 1 Dante Traveler of the Burning Abyss. I know some people like to run the Burning Abyss version more, but I personally don't like running Burning Abyss. For the extract, it's kind of budget. I think Tiara is a little bit though, so you will have to spend a bit on her. Seraphonite probably still up there, but for the most part, most of these cards are pretty cheap, to be honest. With Lancelot, you could probably trade him out for a Hope Harbinger if you want to, or something else, but I personally like Lancelot a lot more, because he can attack directly while he has a material, and if he inflicts battle damage, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and you destroy it, and during your player's turn, when a spell / trap or another monster's effect is activated, you can detach. Well, you don't even get a choice. You have to detach one XP material, negate the activation. It does not destroy. Keep that in mind. So, basically with Lancelot, he's a nice little negation. So, yeah. Stardust Dragon, a nice little generic that you can go into pretty easily. Same thing goes for Scarlight. Kendama is basically father for Tierra. You can summon Kendama in pure slot. Star Eater and Leo, in most cases, have been saviors in the past, and I will keep them in because they are very good. Because, for one, Star Eater, he can't be negated. His summon can't. So, and when you sync or summon, cards and effects cannot be activated. That is key. Because if you can summon him, then you're free to go more in than you actually really want to, because now you don't have to worry about a strike. And if he attacks, he's not affected by other card effects until the end of the damage step, so a Storming Mirror Force or anything like that, that's not going to really matter. For Leo, since he can't be targeted by opponent's card effects except during your main phase 2, meaning only during your main phase 2, not during your opponent's, that can be very, very disruptive to your opponent. especially when he's a 3119. Uh, Enlightenment Paladin, he's basically just a generic to go into to do some uh, what's it called? Some extra burn damage. If you don't want to run Enlightenment Paladin, you can maybe run a Cyframe Lord Omega, or I have a bunch of other cards down here. Uh, you can maybe run a Beatrice, but then you'd probably have to run Dante the Pilgrim of Burning Abyss. So yeah, another one that you can run instead is Tatsunoko. Excuse me. Tatsunoko is incredibly good because he's a good way to get rid of a wolf in hand or a fairy tale in hand to make a Michael. So yeah, and also he's a good way to get out Kendama if you really want to. If you don't want to run Kendama because you're not really going to run Tira that much and you don't think you'll get her effect off as much, you can run High Speed Roy Chenbara. He's a quick way to perform the end of the game. Same goes for Armides. He's a basically Utopia the Lightning. Uh, so when he attacks, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So that's really good. You can also run stuff like Gaia Knight, the Force of the Earth, because he will not count towards your Infernoid count. And if you don't know what the Infernoid count is, it's basically uh, 8 levels or ranks up and above of effect monsters. Gaia Knight, the Force of the Earth, and Scrap Archfiend, and also, I forgot to put this one in here, Gem Knight Pearl. These guys are generic and they are normal monsters. So they will not count toward your actual uh, count. So you can play those as well. I've seen lots of people play them. Plus, they're pretty good levels. Level 6 and level 7 are good to go into pretty good XDs. Uh, for 7s, you can run Black Rose Moonlight. You can also run the actual Black Rose Dragon. Both are incredibly amazing. Um, if you really want to dump money in this, you can pick up a Blood Mephist. And if you don't know what Blood Mephist is, I would not blame you. It is a extremely good card, but it is extremely expensive because it has not been reprinted and it is a prize card. It's a generic, and once per turn during your opponent's standby phase, you can inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each card your opponent controls, and each time your opponent sets a spell slash trap card, you inflict 300 damage to your opponent. So he's basically just a little stun card to hurt like Paleozoic players and the such. There's also one that people probably don't know. It's about like $2, and it's amazing in this deck. Black Feather Dark Rage Dragon. It's generic, and once per turn when you take damage, you can send up to 5 cards from the top of your deck to the grave, and then if any monsters were sent to the grave by this effect, it gains 400 attack, and that's a forever gain. If you wish to run Plague Spreader Zombie, pull that up real quick. There it is. Plague Spreader Zombie, the level 2 tuner that most people will know. You can run Void Ogre Dragon, which is extremely good as well. And to end it all off, we have Vermilion Dragon Mech. He is an interesting card. He's a decent way to get back a Decatron, or do, and basically the way you would do that is banish a Radiant Engrave and destroy himself, and then you get the special your Decatron back. So that's an interesting way. So yeah. That is a lot of talking to do. So yeah, that's basically deck. And if you guys want to know more about the combos, then I suggest you try looking it up or try playing it yourself, because I find Infernoid to be one of the most fun decks that I have ever played in my life, because there's so much, and people don't actually realize this. There's actually a lot of skill that goes into this, because since basically everything in the deck is a DD Crow, You have to decide when to use those effects. And you have to figure out, how do I bait out this? How do I make sure that that is not a face down macrocosmos? Uh, how is that not a face down Imperial Iron Wall? How is that not a Vanity's Emptiness? And since they are all inherent summons, uh, Strike is basically the best way to get rid of them. But if you strike them, they have a high chance of just summoning right back. So it's also a great way to bait out a strike and then just summon a Deviai and blow up the whole back row. And with the release of Void Feast, on your opponent's turn, you can play this on their standby and get rid of a Void card, and then spec a Sajet and a 2 Decatron that become Deviai and Nunku. And the best thing about that is you can even chain Void Madness to Void Madness, sending Void Madness to special even more. It's a crazy combo to pull off, but it is just it, it's amazing, just to say the least. You can fill up your whole field, and you can basically use Decatron to just fill your grave with materials that you will need in the long run. And so far, from what I've seen with the deck, it has an amazing grind game because you have so much advantage from cards like Grass Looks Greener, Monster Gate, Reasoning, and then the whole Lightsworn engine as well, sending cards from your deck to the grave. And if you draw into Brilliant Fusion, you can just start that combo off a lot more quickly. And it's a for a 60 card deck, it's actually pretty fast, to be honest. So, I think that's about it. So, if you guys like this, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more from us at M2K Studios. And with that, bye bye.